Okay, hello everybody. These are the things you can call me, Kassandra, kzg.eth, Cass, K, anything that starts with a K, and I'll respond to that, my favorite letter. This talk is about Ethereum wallets and the next generation of them. And it's going to be quite simple. It's about going back to basics, in my opinion. So, Ethereum Wallets 2.0. I believe we are at a critical juncture now in the Ethereum space where I believe Vitalik at ETHCC this year said something really interesting. It's time to focus on concrete properties, not ideas of things we might do, not Uber on the blockchain in 2017, but real concrete properties that we can ship to real users. And I believe one of the most important things to update to make this possible is being bold about new wallet user experiences, not getting stuck in this same wallet paradigms that we've had since literally the inception of the Ethereum mainnet chain. So what are the main goals for updating wallet user experience? In my opinion, they're super simple, and there are two really big, really important goals. The first one is a new and improved user experience, and to me, we're going to talk specifically about what I mean by this is about a different paradigm for how the user should think about their accounts and their holdings and the way that they interact with the chain through the wallet client. And the other imperative goal, in my opinion, at this juncture is privacy by default in the wallet. So right now, everybody who transacts on Ethereum, almost more than 99% of users have zero privacy when they transact on Ethereum mainnet or other EVM chains. And I believe privacy is an achievable goal that could really change the shape of the utility, concrete, useful properties for users in interacting with the Ethereum blockchain. So those are the goals. And as I said, it's about moving from theory, from ideas, from like proofs of concept to practice. Now, especially with the most recent hard fork that came online, we have all the technology, all the tools we need to actually ship these new user experiences. It's not something it has to be in abstract. In theory, wouldn't it be cool if we can actually build and deliver these things to users and give them these new properties? So let's move from theory to practice. I think this is especially true in privacy, where we've had just an incredible amount of work done in the theory realm. I think beyond almost every researcher's wildest dreams, the way that ZK technology on the theory aspect has accelerated. I think we're lacking tremendously on putting these things into practice in a way that real users can actually benefit from them. And so this is the big thing to focus on. This talk will have nothing to do with new fancy ZK schemes or more compressed proofs or faster proving times or anything like that. Those are amazing things that we should keep doing, but we're already above and beyond. We've done amazing there. Where we're just like far behind is on the practice part. So if you remember anything from this talk, my slides are extremely simple, by the way, so the hope is maybe they'll inspire you, be a bit provocative somehow. I think if you remember anything, remember this slide. We must rethink Ethereum wallet UX from the ground up. I think we are stuck in old models that are hindering us tremendously, and we're going to talk about the most important thing there in just a second. But yeah, I think it's time to be bold. It's time to believe that we can actually give a different user experience. Up until now, almost every major wallet, for instance, let's say browser wallets, have copied the model of the existing wallets with distribution in order to maybe get distribution themselves, or to be palatable to users, or to be a user experience that people already know and love. But this is holding us back from being able to like envision much more upgraded experiences and ways of interacting with the chain. So this is my biggest demon that I would like to slay, and that I think is holding us back, which is we have been relying on address by address a way of thinking. Oh, excuse me. Hello? Our wallets and our accounts. And so we think about a user as a specific address, or an identity as a specific address, or a wallet. And sorry, sound here. Can you guys hear me anyway? I think you can. And I think this is like the that is holding us. Probably my beard, by the way. The original sin, which is yeah, switch. Yeah. Okay, sure. That seems to be having a few issues. No worries whatsoever. Hey, how's this? Hey, everybody. Yeah, I think this is in the Ethereum wallet land that is a big problem. And if you think about it, even Bitcoin wallets don't have this issue. So Bitcoin, much older than Ethereum, a Bitcoin wallet is an abstraction over address space. Every time you receive or create a new UTXO, that's usually in a different Bitcoin address. And your wallet is an aggregated balance across these addresses. And when you do an operation of sending some Bitcoin, well, actually, you might be signing with a bunch of different ECDSA keys at the same time. And all of this happens under the hood, and a wallet is an abstraction over this kind of raw address space and ECDSA signatures. However, in Ethereum, and there are reasons for this, there's this accounts-based model, there's the idea of gas, there's smart contracts, and things that made the easiest and simplest first user experience to ship more compatible with like address reuse and thinking about an address as your kind of account or identity. But I think to get beyond this model, the analogy that I like to give is it's kind of like if we had the Ethereum we have today, but we didn't have the Solidity language. So you could write smart contracts in pure opcodes if you'd like, and it's totally feasible, and Solidity and other higher level languages are just an abstraction over this raw EVM bytecode. But I think it would be very, very hard to progress in Ethereum applications if we never shipped anything beyond just raw Ethereum bytecode. I don't think we would have ever seen innovation like smart contracts like Uniswap and lending markets and all other types of things we've seen. So I believe we need a new approach in Ethereum, and now we finally have the tools to do this. Because you needed an EOA funded with gas in order to initiate an Ethereum transaction in the past, there was no way to avoid the, it would be extremely cumbersome to fund a new EOA with gas every single time you wanted to do any interaction. But things on the chain have been changing. And so, yeah, I believe there are a tremendous amount of tools which have already been shipped to production that really change the game about the way that we can build wallets and create a account user experience for users. What we have are chain-specific addresses and cross-chain intents. We have these ERCs that are currently being worked on, and a tremendous work going on there. I think this is another issue around the cardinal sin of reusing addresses and thinking of addresses as our accounts, is that we also have this ambiguity around EOAs are often used across different chains. And so you think of addresses on different chains as being somewhat equivalent, but smart contracts do not have this property. So smart wallet might not be the same on multiple chains, or different smart contracts might not be the same. And so this ambiguity is literally a security issue, in my opinion, and quite unsafe. But it's rampantly used, and understandably so, because if you're used to your, a certain key in your MetaMask wallet, well, why not just, use that key for everything, use that on different chains. But I believe, again, if we had these higher level abstractions in the wallet client and the way you thought about your account, besides using this super low level address space and key by key way of thinking about accounts, then this issue never would have even arisen. I think there's a lot of great work going on in terms of trying to unify the cross EVM chain user experience in the wallet as well. Great initiatives going on there with these ERCs. We also have these privacy protocols that have gotten way more mature on Ethereum. Things like privacy pools, Railgun. You even have Tornado Cash as another, important precursor to these. These ones have built in maybe more tools for selective revelation of which part of the anonymity set you're from. So these are really powerful primitives, which once upon a time ZK was moon math, but now these are things that have long time been deployed on the chain and could be utilized way more and baked right into your user experience, into your wallet, and we'll talk more about that later. We also, very importantly, have a new EIP that was just shipped in the recent hard fork that gives EOAs superpowers. And this is a key unlock for this issue of address reuse I was talking about, because it's no longer true anymore that you need an EOA funded with ETH in order to operate on that EOA and to initiate a transaction from that address space. You can now have your everybody. Yeah. Yeah, everybody. I'm a yeller. It's for the for the video.
In the interim, what's your definition of privacy? I mean, what do you think is missing from addresses or wallets that we currently have?
I think privacy is your ability to have agency over selectively revealing things about yourself to other parties. So it's not secrecy. It's about autonomy. It's about you having the choice to reveal. And I think the difference why blockchains. It's not that everything should be secretive and there should be no ability for any kind of compliance, let's say. It's that we need to get back to a place, for instance, in financial privacy where you actually have to be asked to reveal, not reveal by default. You're already revealed by default. And today, the way everyone uses the chain, they are constantly being doxed by default. And this worsens every time you use the same address over and over. Like, how many people in this room use like a few addresses for almost all the interactions they do on chain? I do. I know I'm extremely lazy and I do this all the time. And this is every single transaction that you do from the same accounts creates links. And like all of these links together make it incredibly trivial for the entire chain to be de-anonymized by sophisticated actors like Chainalysis. I believe we can take steps, simple steps, to create a mist of privacy that gives them a much harder time, and that's what they should have. That's what it's not that these people's jobs to go find bad actors that they shouldn't be able to do them. It's that they should have a job to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be like everything revealed to them ahead of time already. So I would like to make their jobs a lot harder if I could. We also have a really cool relayer infrastructure, or early account abstraction and gas abstraction with 4337. We've got a stealth addresses protocol, which is super useful and something I'm very passionate about. Very basic, could be built on top of any other blockchain. Bitcoin it works on top of as well, or it's a primitive that's exogenous to the way that the chain works. We also need to update the way apps and wallets interact so that wallets can do these sophisticated operations seamlessly while interacting with app front ends. And we have EIPs for this as well, like 5792. Finally, privacy, super complex. It's maybe you can do a lot of fancy things to be private, but then you leak your IP when you connect to an application, or talk to over HTTP to someone else. So we need anonymous HTTP comms. Things like Tor and VPN and Hopper and Waku messaging are all really cool initiatives. Things that could be coming soon is a full account abstraction with EIP 7701, less heard of often than 7702. Privacy preserving RPCs, either with a TEE solution or maybe in the future with a private information retrieval and cool fancy cryptography, let's say. And eventually having really light local nodes, so light nodes that make it possible that people don't have to interact with third-party RPCs at all. So all of these tools are either already available or available soon. Maybe even a last one I would mention is there's an EIP for the long term, which could eventually make ETHs transfers be private at the actual L1 level, but this would require hard fork changes as well. So tons of tools either already available or coming soon to be able to do some of these things. Okay, so now my slides get incredibly simple. Let's see how much time I have to see how long. Okay, got a couple minutes. Yeah, no worries. For me, this talk really is an offering to see the tools that are available and see the things that we can do, the types of things that we can go home and build today to actually ship things that people could try to use that give a different experience. And I think there are some incredible initiatives going on around interop. I don't know if anybody saw the post update from Barnaby at the EF, but he mentions the open intents framework and the Ethereum interop layer as things that are being worked on all the way from the top at the Ethereum Foundation and a bunch of other stakeholders and groups and bridges and relayers who are all coordinating around creating better interop standards, so that the goal here, what's the goal, right? Of course, there are lots of little steps to take in between to actually get there, but the goal is simply to make it feel like using all the different EVM chains we have out there, or a subset of them that maybe have the properties that a user deems secure enough, has this feeling of using a single chain. Seamless interaction across chains. So I believe there's a lot going on there, which could be really cool. I would love to see wallets, for instance, a browser wallet, much like the ones you might use today, Rabi, MetaMask, et cetera, but when you interact with a dApp, if you have funds on a different chain, you don't need to use some third-party pop-in application or whatever. Your wallet itself understands how to relay those assets from the other chain to the source chain that you need in order to do the interaction that you like. Simple, but extremely valuable things that could completely change the way users think about using these chains. Again, I think we're using them at way too low level, way too difficult user experience, that people have to know about manually switching networks, manually switching across addresses. Is it funded with the gas token from this chain? What is the gas token on this chain? These are like, these create a barrier for us to actually reach what we might be calling real world adoption, or let's just say, again, user experiences that are actually useful to people. So this is very important. And the last thing I want to tell you about, which is what I am working on. So I am a grantee by the Ethereum Foundation, working with a number of different groups, people, on this Kohaku privacy wallet project. And our goal here is to ship a browser wallet similar in feeling to the types of wallets you might use today, but which gives strong privacy by default. And the way that we're thinking about approaching this is to seamlessly and embeddedly, to basically embed the different privacy protocols that already exist on Ethereum mainnet into the wallet in a seamless way. And so you can think about instantiating private accounts, like an account on with Railgun, or a privacy pools seed, which allows you to make a number of notes for the privacy pools protocol, and think of these accounts as part of your wallet as well. And every time you interact with a dApp, you would actually instantiate a new fresh, the default experience would be use a fresh account every single time you interact with a dApp. And maybe if you've already interacted with that dApp before and it's something that has to be long-lived for in terms of address reuse, in Ethereum, I don't think we can ever get to the place where addresses are never reused more than once. For instance, let's say you make a CDP with MakerDAO. This might be a position you might want to adjust in the future, so you may still have to have that key live longer. However, this is something you can do, but by default, every time you sign in to a new application and connect your wallet, you're going to connect a new, fresh public address. And like in the longest term with this project, what I would love to see, by the way, this is all personal opinions of mine, my like desired UX is that if you have funds already sitting inside of one of these privacy protocols, you could atomically interact with some decentralized application in such a way that the UI, the dApp front end, doesn't have to change at all. But when it sends payloads to your wallet prepends that with a bunch of other operations that basically pull the funds that you need from the privacy protocol into a fresh public account. Upgrade that fresh public account to, with 7702 so that it acts like a smart account, and then passes the interactions that you want to do, approve and interact with the app, let's say, through that public account, and pays the gas to some relayer who's doing that with funds sitting in a privacy protocol. And if you do all of this, you could seamlessly be interacting with a dApp entirely privately, but have the exact same experience you have today. And why am I talking about all this? And then I'm finally done. I think what's really important is many of these things could be done today. However, you have to be extremely technologically savvy and go to like 6 different front ends in order to actually achieve something like this, which means 0 people do it, except maybe, you know, a few niche researchers who are really excited about these ideas. And so the only way that we are going to get privacy like distributed to many users, and thus actually have real privacy, because if the anonymity sets are not big, there's not really any privacy for the 5 users who actually have it. We need to embed these things into this authentication layer, into the wallet layer, and that's what we're trying to do with Kohaku. So hopefully we can show you something exciting soon, and I hope you enjoyed the talk. Thank you, guys.